The world is responding strongly to recent joint military strikes by the United States and Israel against targets in Iran. Countries, international organizations, and leaders from across the globe have voiced reactions ranging from support to condemnation and calls for de-escalation. Here's how the international community is reacting after these unprecedented attacks. At the United Nations, diplomats are urging restraint and calling for diplomatic solutions to avoid further escalation. The UN Security Council has convened emergency discussions to address the crisis and encourage all sides to return to dialogue. The European Union described the situation as greatly concerning, emphasizing civilian protection and nuclear safety. Leaders from Western countries such as France, Germany, and United Kingdom issued a joint statement. They reiterated concerns over Iran's regional destabilization, stressed the importance of diplomacy, and condemned retaliatory attacks in the region. These nations said they did not participate in the strikes, but want a peaceful, negotiated solution. Across Asia, China has urged an immediate ceasefire and called for all parties to avoid further escalation. China emphasized respect for Iran's sovereignty and the need for renewed dialogue and negotiation. Meanwhile, responses from other global powers have highlighted the broad international concern about regional stability. In the Middle East and surrounding regions, many governments have responded with alarm. Gulf states like United Arab Emirates and Bahrain described the conflict as a dangerous escalation, threatening local stability. Some states criticized Iran's subsequent retaliatory missile strikes, while others have cautiously urged restraint and diplomacy. Eastern European countries have also weighed in. For example, Ukraine expressed support for decisive action against Iran's regional influence, citing Tehran's military support in other conflicts. Other nations have expressed deep concern, calling for immediate de-escalation and negotiation to avert a wider crisis. Beyond governments, civil society groups and leaders from around the world have condemned escalating violence and called for protecting civilians. Humanitarian organizations stress that civilian lives should be a priority and that diplomatic channels must be reopened to avoid further tragedy. As world leaders, international institutions, and citizens react, one message is clear: the crisis has global implications. American and Israeli forces have carried out strikes on cities across Iran in what U.S. President Donald Trump has described as major combat operations. Trump called for the Iranian people to rise up and government forces to surrender following what Israel called a preemptive attack. He later said Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed, which was confirmed by Iranian state TV. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps said it was responding to the strikes by targeting U.S. bases and assets across the Middle East as part of Operation Truthful Promise 4. This comes after weeks of threats and negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. Here is how the international community is reacting. From urgent calls for diplomacy to warnings about regional escalation, the reactions reflect deep concern about the future security and stability of the Middle East and beyond.